This video describes how to replace the main circuit board, part number 02100000743, on a Haws 1200 series electric water cooler. This video does not apply to models 1201S, 1202S, 1210S, and the 1210SF. Tools necessary are a 3/8" box wrench, bit insert style screwdrivers, both short and long are recommended, T20 and T25 Torx bits, both included, drilling template, also included, a .166 drill bit, also included, a file or deburring tool, permanent marker, and a plastic mechanical pencil or plastic pick. Parts included are the replacement circuit board with fuse, button assembly, and several additional screws are included in case any are lost during the process. Cut-resistant gloves and safety glasses are highly recommended for performing this work. Start by removing the skirt from the unit by removing the 4 screws from the bottom of the unit. Shut off the water pressure to the unit by turning the water stop valve to the closed position. Bleed the water pressure from the unit by activating either the bubbler or bottle filler if one is installed. Shut off the circuit breaker, which supplies power to the unit. As an additional precaution, unplug the unit from the wall. Remove the plastic lower bowl support cover from beneath the bowl by removing the 4 screws. Next, remove the screw holding the drain to the bowl. Remove the water tube from the 90-degree fitting that attaches to the bubbler head. Remove the button by pressing the snaps on one end and progressively moving along the button until it is free. Channel lock pliers can help with this task, as long as care is taken not to damage any parts. Remove the micro switches from the button by carefully releasing the snaps holding them in place and pulling vertically up on the switches. Tuck the micro switches and wiring back through the opening in the bowl. Remove the 2 screws and associated nuts holding the rear of the bowl to the frame members. The 3/8" box wrench should be used for this step. If necessary, the water fitting near the left side can be temporarily disconnected in order to better access the screw head. If applicable, H models only, remove the bowl sensor from the bowl by loosening the inside nut followed by removing the front bezel nut. Next, remove the screws holding the front of the bowl to the frame members. You may now remove the bowl by carefully lifting up. At this point, we suggest taking a photo of the wire connections on the circuit board to use as a reference when installing the new board. Disconnect the 3 fast-on electrical terminals by pulling straight out from the terminal itself. Do not pull on the wires. Now, disconnect the electrical connectors by pressing on the small lever and gently pulling. Remove the old circuit board by removing the 4 number 6 screws holding it in place. On newer units, a nut on the opposite side will also need to be removed. Attach the template to the frame member, as shown, using the number 6 screws. Drill through the frame member where indicated, taking care not to damage wiring on the other side. Remove the template and deburr the hole. Skip this step if there is already a hole in the arm at this location. Remember to mark the old circuit board so that it is not mixed up with the new board. The video shows physical differences between the old board and the new board, but this will not always be the case. You may now remove the new board from the packaging. Take care to handle it only by the edges or by the large black rectangular power supply. This is to avoid static electricity damage to the board. Set the two boards next to each other and locate the dip switches, which are the small black components with 8 switches, adjacent to the blue button. Set the dip switches on the new board to match the settings on the old board. Using the 4 number 6 screws, attach the new board to the frame member in the same location as the old board. If the unit is an H model, anchor the wire terminal on the blue wire from the sensor underneath the front upper screw. Tighten the number 6 locking nut onto the screw protruding through the board and frame member. Keep the screw from spinning by using a Phillips screwdriver on the other side of the board. Do not skip this step as it is critical to the function. Reattach the connectors to the circuit board. Take care to match the wires labeled bottle and filter to the connectors on the board with the same labels. The connectors may need to rotate 180 degrees to fit the new board. Now, attach the wires labeled D4/N2 and S2/S4 to the terminals on the board labeled AC_N. These can be installed either way. Next, attach the wire labeled L1 to the terminal on the board labeled AC_line. Check that the fast-on terminals are firmly connected by gently pulling on them. If they come free easily, Then use the needle nose pliers to carefully tighten the terminal opening, then reinstall. Check that the wires are away from any area where the bowl will be reinstalled. Also, confirm that the black plastic part resting on the frame members is fully seated down and back. Reinstall the bowl and attach the front mounting screws first. Immediately follow this by attaching the rear mounting screws. If applicable, H models only, reinstall the bowl sensor, taking care that it is flush with the front bezel nut and that the pin on the bezel nut aligns with the small hole on the bowl. Bring the button switches back through the opening in the front of the bowl. Attach these into the button assembly from the top. Reinstall the button by pressing on the frame until it snaps into the bowl. Push the snaps in starting on one side and working towards the other. Check that the button operates freely. Reinstall the bubbler water line to the fitting below the bubbler by pushing it fully about 3/4 of an inch into the fitting. Reinstall the screw, attaching the drain assembly to the bowl, taking care not to over-tighten. It may be necessary to grasp the rubber drain component from below to prevent the plastic insert from spinning while turning the screw. Now, reinstall the plastic lower bowl support cover beneath the bowl by bringing it up and then fully forward, followed by installing the 4 screws. Plug the electrical cord back into the wall. Repressurize the waterway by turning the water stop valve to the open position. Be sure to check for any leaks. Next, reinstall the skirt and the 4 screws that hold it in place. You may now turn the breaker back to the on position. Bleed any air from the unit, utilizing either the fountain or the bottle filler, and check for proper operation. At this point, you have successfully installed the PCBA replacement part. If you have any questions, please reach out to our technical support team at 1-800-766-5612 or email techsupport@hawsco.com. Thank you.